Alright, so I'm going to demonstrate what I do when I'm doing this molding stuff. Here's some that I've already cast, and I'm going to release them and prepare the next casting. So these are, rubber molds, so they bend and flex, and you use that to your advantage when you're getting them out. Just pop them out. These have been sitting here about half an hour or so after I poured them. I'll get that in a second. Some of these are a bit challenging. Oh, very nice. Pretty. Okie dokie. Cut that out. Clean it off good, because I'm put this in a solution of water and jet dry, and I don't want a lot of this casting material, this casting compound, to go into the water, get washed off in the water. So I'm going to clean off as much as I can. Alright, so I'm going to put that in the solution, waiting for the next batch. And I'm going to set these off to dry. This is a cavern mold. I've cast this one a lot. This is one that goes in the water cavern set, and it's got a few tricky bits in it. It's got a door, half of a door here. It's also got the arch that goes over the door, and those are really tricky to get out. This one right here has a very narrow bend, and so I'm going to try to get some of these out more carefully than often required. Use a paper clip to release it. See if I can get it so that it doesn't stick to it. And then bend it. There we go. Well, that one was easy peasy. Let's see if I can manage to get the door out without breaking it. There we go. Alright, do some of the bigger ones now. Just sort of develop a strategy for releasing these after experience. And even then, sometimes it doesn't work. Alright, that one's out. This one's usually easy. Sort of pressing up from the bottom with my fingers too. This one I don't think I have ever developed a foolproof strategy for getting it out. It's always been a bit of luck. Just with me today. And last piece. Alright. Clean this up. I like using wood tools wherever I can. A little bit softer. More give, no real sharp edges to snag on these things. Cause extra wear. Use your fingers for some of this, but that gets tiring after a while, so. Alright, so that one goes in the solution as well. And we're going to set these off to dry. It always pays to clean up the work area. This is a technique I use these for scraping the top of the molds. I have two of them, and this always works for cleaning the scrapers. My work surface here is cutting board, and I've got a couple sticks of hot glue, and these are kind of a rubbery surface, which will allow me to pound on this later to help settle the casting. I've got a mixture of 20% cement and plaster. Measure this out to be, for those two molds, it'll take 300 300 grams of compound. I did 250 last time. That was just a little bit short, so maybe if I can get to 275, that might do it. We'll call that good. Usually I do 200 grams of compound and 150 grams of water. Since I'm using 275 grams of powder, I'm going to go to a little smidge over 175 on water. This is just tap water. So for cup, water first. Then powder. Normally just dump it in, but I'm gonna scoop a little bit in first. When I first started doing this, I was very timid about pouring this in. I was afraid of getting bubbles. And I do, now that I'm more cavalier about it, I do get more bubbles for sure, but sometimes easier to deal with than spending a lot of time worrying about it here. I'm stirring with just a wooden stick. These are medical, provided by my wife, the doctor. I think they have something to do with lady parts, but I'm not going to think about it too much. Alright. If I tap it like this, sometimes I can get, well, at least get the bubbles to rise and break them on the top. So I want to get that all stirred up very well. Set that off to the side. We'll pull these two molds out of the solution, tap them off, lay them out like so. Now if you give it another stir just before you pour, I've found that it loosens it up because it starts to set right away. Now the trick for this is going to be pour it in and tap. The reason I'm doing the tapping is so that it will flow into these areas, and I'm pouring next to the cavities, so the tapping will help it just flow right into it and avoid bubbles. This is why the cutting board on top of the hot glue sticks comes in handy for this pounding. Just can't beat this too much. Until it sets anyway. I'm going to poke around a little bit here, make sure I've got bubbles out. There are a couple things where I thought maybe I needed to. Not only does the pounding help get the bubbles out, but it also rises the water to the top and helps the solution settle to the bottom, helps the slurry settle to the bottom, and also levels it out. So even application all the way across the surface. Now I need to let it set for a second. And scraping is a bit of an art form. I do it a bit differently than the recommended way, probably because it's a little bit hard to recommend the precise way that I do it. This might be how everybody does it, but it's difficult to describe. Okay, so I usually start doing this before it's even really finished. I'm going to scrape, get a little bit off in the end, and I'm going to keep filling this in actually. Spread a thin layer over the top as much as I can. Okay, same thing on the other side. Cleaning it off on the edge of the mold like it's a squeegee. Okay. So I can scrape down, get it good and scraped, and then smear some of it back over it so that it's level and there's no ridges. So I'm just working it like this. Back and forth, and it's continuing to set while I do this, so it's getting stiffer and stiffer. As you work it though, it loosens, so it's a lot looser when you're constantly moving this back and forth than if you were to just do it and then let it set for a second in between passes. Like this over here is pretty stiff until I get working on it. So you get down towards the end here, and just being softer and softer, gentler and gentle touch, until you get it nice and smooth. And then lift them off. Clean the boards. There we have it. Let these set for half an hour or so. Pop them out, do it again.